Victor Adatiba with ScrumLife.com, back with our book club and reading another excerpt from the book. This episode is sponsored by Mansa Tech Training Academy, link in the description. Today's book, 97 Things Every Scrum Practitioner Should Know, Collective Wisdom from the Experts, edited by Gunther Veron. Today we're reading from page 2 and 3, 5 Things Nobody Tells You About Scrum by Mark Loeffler. All right. You're thinking about transforming your world of work by starting to use Scrum. Here are a few things nobody told you about Scrum before. 1, Scrum will not solve your problems. Some people hope that Scrum will magically solve their problems as if it were a silver bullet. But agile processes like Scrum are more like a mother-in-law looking over your shoulder all the time. They point out all your problems and mistakes, making them transparent. In the end, you have to solve them and do the hard work yourself. Number 2, Scrum offers no benefits when you only follow the process. I've seen teams that did Scrum exactly by the book. They had daily stand-ups, sprint planning meetings, sprint reviews, retrospectives, and even product backlog refinement meetings. However, the benefits they reaped from Scrum were minor because they missed the point that Agile is more about being than it is about doing. Becoming Agile requires a mindset change to accompany the process change. Only by embracing the 12 principles behind the Agile Manifesto and the Scrum values will Scrum unfold its full potential. Number 3, there is no Scrum switch. Sending all your employees on a 2-day Scrum certification training is not nearly enough to make you a Scrum company. There is no switch that you can flip to Scrum to make your company agile overnight. Descriptions of the Scrum process make it seem easy, but the opposite is true. Adopting Scrum is hard. There is much learning to do, maximizing the work not done, eliminating existing meetings, delivering production-ready versions of product every sprint, tackling tough organizational issues, and more. Yes, you can switch to Scrum, but it will be a gradual process. It takes months or even years, and it is ultimately a never-ending story. Number 4, transforming to Scrum means transforming your organization. Most Agile transformation initiatives start in product development, but they should not remain there. If the rest of your organization happily ignores the initiative, it's like planting a flower in the desert. It will slowly die. There is no way to introduce Scrum without transforming the organization in whole or in part. If you are not ready to face that, you are not ready for Scrum. Number 5, Scrum is not faster. Even though the term sprint implies that Scrum is fast, reset your expectations, at least at first. If you want to have production-ready releases at the end of every iteration, you won't be able to deliver more in the same amount of time. Scrum will actually help you decrease your time to market, but in different ways. Scrum is about gradually increasing the work not done. Focus on what your customers really need rather than building cluttered products that nobody knows how to use with features nobody needs. This, of course, leads to shorter and clearer product backlogs and faster delivery, and thus ultimately to a better time to market. Scrum is about building in quality right from the beginning. It will help you create room to focus on creating innovative features rather than wasting time and energy on everlasting bug fixing. Also, the time you'll need for maintenance will decrease tremendously. My sentiments, exactly. I couldn't agree more, Mark. There are a lot of people who think that Scrum is a silver bullet to all of their problems. If they just attend the training and do the ceremonies, then Scrum will change everything in their organization. When, as Mark said, you have to do Scrum with the heart and mind of an agilist. You have to make sure that the actions match up with the intentions. And so the Agile Manifesto talks about the values and principles that a Scrum team, that an organization should have to back up the actions that the team is doing. And there are a lot of people who are naysayers or doubters of Agile and Scrum because they've had a bad experience in a previous organization or even on a previous team. And so I will give you guys a quote that I got at church this week, which was, "Don't ever judge a philosophy by its abusers." And so, although Scrum isn't a philosophy, it's a framework, and Agile is a set of values and principles. Don't ever judge the framework or the values and principles by its abusers. And so, just because you've had a situation with a Scrum team or with a Scrum master potentially, or a development team or a product owner that didn't quite sit right with you, you don't necessarily need to judge the entire framework of Scrum by that bad experience that you had, or by maybe the people who were attempting to implement the framework who didn't do it service. So, with that, I'll say thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me about your thoughts. What do you think about Scrum? What are some things that you learned in your implementation, or from your team or your Scrum Master or your product owner, about things nobody ever told you about Scrum? I'd love to hear what you think. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. See you later.